God, I think he was.
You think it works now?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does it work good?
Perfect.
See, he can't.
How would you know? I'm sitting
He
right
can't
here.
even count to. He can't even count to 10.
I went to Catholic schools. Could count to 25.
All right.
Did you guys ever send me any copies we've done over the years?
I don't have anything to do with that.
Huh? What do you do with the copies? I don't know if I've ever got a copy of anything.
Because Ty is supposed to make one
Well,
to give it to you.
hey,
Well, if you're waiting on Ty,
if-
I mean, I don't think so.
well, when you figure out how to get a copy, let me know.
Oh, okay. I'll
Well, I
get you a
could get
copy.
one, too.
You got any money? I'll get you a real good copy. I'll get you a picture
Okay.
with Ty with a goat.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
We'll put that on tape. I want a picture of that. That's what I want.
I'm booking myself a one-way flight. Gotta see the
Okay, once again, we're happy
Right after
to
I use the bathroom. Go ahead.
we're happy to have Denny Mclain with us again, and 9th year, I believe, right?
It is
Been here every
9th
year,
or 10th.
and
How many
we've
years
talked.
is it? 9 or 10?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
think
that.
I said 9, but we certainly appreciate your coming every year.
And we appreciate you too, Ray.
Well-
now that you got your own TV show, The Blacklist, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
Now the blacklist, and I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't think it's good. And so anyway, you and Ty have been friends for a long time, and you come here every year. Boy, I'll tell you, that lineup out there for people to
great.
see you and get
It's great.
autographs. It's
And I'll
wonderful.
tell you, I don't believe it's so much the autographs. I really don't anymore. It's because it's a lot of the same people. I bet 50-60% of our audience are the same people. They come back to support a great school. Yeah. They come back to create a great spirit of this school. What I've seen the last 9 years has been incredible, and how the crowds have grown every year, how the kids react to the school. You've got your Hall of Fame here. With former graduates, and the nice thing about it is the guys who have gone to the school come back. I mean, they give some money, they give some time, and there's nothing more worthwhile than that. I mean, helping the kids here today. And we know we live in a tough society today.
Yeah.
Money is one problem that we all have to deal with every day, but everything else that goes on in everybody's life is very difficult right now, and to see the alumni come out is just terrific.
Well, there's a great history here. My wife graduated from here back in 1954, and all 3 of our children graduated from here.
Wow.
And so there's a long history.
The 3 of them your children too?
Yeah, they were mine too. Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I've only ever known one woman. I don't know.
Well, nobody's perfect, right?
Well, anyway, Denny, what's happening right now? You're doing. We'll get to baseball in a little bit about the Tigers and stuff, but what are you really doing right now? You talked about a website.
I see you prepared again, huh? You're really on the ball again. Well, you know what? We do a lot of stuff for Major League Baseball. We do about, between what we do and everything else we do for the parks around the country, minor league parks, we do about 240 appearances this year. Oh. And, we're on the road obviously all the time. We enjoy it. We wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it. We're not only promoting the game, but promoting other elements of it. We do a lot of stuff in the inner cities now, and it's just fun. I mean, listen, where else can you go and have the friends all over the country that you make in this game? And what better game can you, and what better business can you talk about than the game of baseball on an everyday basis? And there isn't anything nicer that happens to me every day in my life when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, would you sign this for me?" It doesn't get any better than that. Life cannot get any better than that.
And it's important for youth too that they have coaches. I always said kids learn discipline in athletics.
Yes,
if you don't want to do it my way, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
And they learn discipline, and that holds through life.
There's a window in sports in general, and if you can take orders, if you can take instruction. And at times it's got to be a little strict and it's got to be a little tough, but if you can do that, you can make a lot of progress, not only in the game you're playing, but in life in general. But you got to listen, you got to want to do things, you got to want to learn. And I suspect half the problem today with some of our younger kids, they think they know it at a much earlier age, and I suppose, and I'm not criticizing technology, I love it. I mean, I just love, you know, getting 13,000 texts a day and things like that. But the bottom line is, it's an education process, but the kids got to listen. There's more in the world than hitting a text, doing an email, and you know, sending crazy pictures to each other.
I was in business and manufacturing for 44 years, and you just you know, you got to have the hands-on people that know how to handle things. And well, we had factories and stuff, and skilled trades and so forth. People don't want to go into that nowadays. They go to college, they come out with big loan balances and can't get a job.
Well, you know, it's a big issue. I manufacture a product. I manufacture pellets, and I got to tell you something. The people who we want to hire are unhireable because they do not want to be in a place for 8 hours a day. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Some of these folks would rather take a government check every week or every month. That's what I don't understand about it. And I'm not criticizing them. Don't misunderstand me. We've developed a significant population in our society today that after 9/11 and when the world hit the fan here, especially in the United States, people learned how to do things in a lesser manner and take advantage of programs that are available that they may or may not qualify for. That's what's happened. And I only hope that one day we get all that straightened out. I don't know how you do it. I don't have any answers, but somebody has to call somebody's attention to it, because when you've got as many people unemployed, and there's jobs out there now, and I mean, and I'm not saying they're going to earn what people earned 30 years ago, 35 years ago, you know, on a per capita scale. But the bottom line is, they're out there. And gosh, you got to just get off your butt, either make a phone call or go in person and fill out the app. You'll get a job. Anybody who wants a job, I think you can get a job. May not be the one you want. But you know what? It's a starter, and and once somebody sees you, and I've always said one of the nicest things every day, we always meet somebody during a day, like 7 days a week, that brings us an opportunity. Every day it happens to us. Now, you know, 9 out of 10 are you know, somewhere up in the sky, but every once in a while you find a good one. And the bottom line is, you got to take advantage of the people around you. Take advantage of the people who know more than you do, because Lord knows everybody in this room knows more than I do, and certainly I know they know more than you do.
Well, well, anyway, I lost my chain of thought.
I did.
You do that
doesn't
to
take
me.
much of a chain to get you off track either.
You do that to me all the time, you know. But you know, things, they're not always going to go smooth. There are bumps in the road.
It's impossible.
And you know, it's like in athletics too. We always had the theory when we did broadcasting: you never criticize a young athlete. They're going to make mistakes. We make mistakes. You know, but you got to overcome it. You got to work over them. You got to
work hard. Listen, I try to explain. I work with a couple of kids who are going to be signed this year, a professional. They're in college right now, and one kid who goes to the University of Illinois. Over the last 9 months, we've improved his velocity, believe it or not, 9 miles an hour, and he's 6'6.5". My God, the kid's got legs from here to the backboard of the gym, and he wasn't using his legs. And my point is, those are the things you have to learn with. Those are the issues that someone has to learn how to develop. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to be able to work with these young kids who want to. It's the guys that want. I don't mean to touch your leg, right? But it's not the guys that have the great ability. It's the guys who have lesser ability who want to learn more. And they don't realize they've got a shortcoming. But if you work with them, all of a sudden it's like this kid that picked up 8 or 9 miles an hour. That kid has thrown the ball through a wall now. He went from 87 to 94 to 96 consistently. You know, and he's 20 years old. Lord almighty. And I'll tell you, sometime this year the kid's going to get a check for $10 million from somebody.
Well, we always had to have mentors. You're going to have somebody to help you out. I had it in my career where the guy came to me and said, "Hey, are you willing to go back to college and work now and take a job in engineering?" Yeah. 3 years later, I have my certificate in engineering. You've got to have people like that will lead, and we have to be leaders. We've been through that. We owe something back.
Doesn't cost you anything to give advice. The nice thing about it, when you give it, you'd like it to be appreciated, and that they learn possibly something. They don't have to learn today. Somewhere down the road, a week, a month, a year from now, and all of a sudden, what goes around comes around, I say, and it will come around again if, in fact, it's not applicable at the moment.
I talk to many young engineers that work for me and so forth, and I'd always say to them, when it's not fun to come to work anymore, find something else.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if they don't like what they're doing, they're not going to do a good job for me either.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you don't enjoy what you do, listen, you still got to work. I mean, I don't care who you are, and you gotta struggle with that job for a while until you find a better option, a better opportunity. That's what you got to do. You just can't get up and quit, because it also causes problems with the employer who you were just with. Now they got to go out and find a guy or two or three, whatever. So I mean, the word that I think we're both trying to find right now is responsibility. I see less responsibility for one's actions today than I've ever seen before, and that's unfortunate. I don't know if it starts in the schools, if it doesn't start in the school, but somewhere along the line we're losing the actual definition of responsibility.
Okay, let's talk baseball.
Okay.
The Tigers.
So you
Brad
think you know
Ausmus,
more about that than life, huh?
Well,
let's hope.
Not really. But Brad Ausmus' first year, how would you rate it?
C- at best. You can be real critical of him with the way he handled the pitching staff. I just, for a guy who was a catcher and a pretty good catcher, I was kind of taken back that he didn't handle the pitchers better. Maybe he didn't know how less talented his staff was. Maybe he thought he had a bunch of Cy Youngs out there.
Yeah.
You know, listen, they got a real tough road to go. They just got rid of three of their better pitchers. They got rid of Scherzer, who you could have got rid of him anyway, because he only wants to pitch 6 innings if he's got a lead. If he's behind, he wants to stay in the game. The guy's got no balls. I mean, that's the problem with Scherzer. And then the other thing is you get rid of Porcello. You know, he's always going to be a 12, 14 game winner, but that's what he's going to give you every year. And then you've got the other guy, who's the other one we got rid of? Fister. You know, that kid is the best. He was the best pitcher on our team. He was the best pitcher. Now, he didn't have the best stuff, but he was the best pitcher, and he could do it in 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. That was the joy of watching him pitch. And to get rid of him at the time they did for what we got back, please. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And then you got the other guy you can't, I don't think you can give him away right now, is Sanchez, because every year he takes 30 days off with an arm injury or a back injury or a butt injury, whatever it might be. And if this is the staff they're going to start with this year, they're starting trying to go uphill. And the bullpen is another story. Our ace is 40 years old. And you've heard me say this 100 times. Nobody gets better after the age of 30. No. Now, he's had a pretty good, you know, he falls into the group that I call freaks. The Clemens, who pitch longer after 30, the Barry Bonds and guys like that who play deep into their 30s. But there aren't very many of those, and those are the freaks, the Nolan Ryans and guys like that can still bring it at 35, 6, 7, whatever it was. But if you even look at Nolan Ryan's career, he only won 21 times. So we're not talking about a guy that, you know, set the league on fire with wins and losses. But, you know, the whole thing with this ball club is they still don't have a catcher. We talked about it last year. They don't go out and get a catcher. They're going to suffer behind there again, and I don't have to go into the stories about the guy that's catching now. You got a first baseman who's now going to come back again after another injury. And then, of course, you've got some other guys who've been beatered and battered. And I just don't, you know, when I think what they did, to be honest with you, they spent so much money on Verlander, so much money on some of these other guys, that they just started to take a back seat. They weren't aggressive with anybody this winter. Nobody at all. And there's still some guys out there. What's his name? Cliff Lee with Philadelphia is available. There's some other guys out there that can still pitch. And right now, they got Price, and he is the best pitcher in the American League. Bar none. He is the best. If people watch him pitch, you'll realize what I'm saying.
When you talked about pitchers getting older, Verlander's going through that right now. I think
his problem has been twofold. One, yes, he's gotten older. And number two, his concentration was totally affected last year with Miss Kate. And that's not a bad thing. Falling in love is the most wonderful emotion that any of us have in our life. But you cannot take I love you on the field or 2 hours before you're going to pitch at 7 o'clock. You can't be in a mall buying a new suit or buying diamonds or whatever it is. And that's fine. He's got plenty of money. He can do it all day long. I don't take exception with that. But what I'm saying is if you're going to pitch tomorrow night, you need to get your rest the night before. You need to take care of yourself before you pitch, and you put your act together, because there's no pitcher that ever played this game that didn't plan to pitch the next day when it was his turn to pitch. And unfortunately, between Miss Kate and him losing his fastball a little bit, but what really happened was he lost his concentration. Miss Kate affected his concentration. I'm telling you, that's what it was all about. The biggest question is, will he get it back? Ask Tiger Woods about it. Ask me about it, because when I had my issues and I hurt my arm for the last time, my concentration was shattered. I was a car crash every time I went out there. You prayed that you'd get somebody out. And I think, God forbid, we're at that point with Justin. I don't believe so. You know, everybody's telling me how well he's throwing the ball in spring training. Hell, you could throw well in spring training. I don't want to hear this spring training stuff. When the bell rings, I want him to go out there and be Justin Verlander. Now, will he ever be again? He'll never be the Justin Verlander from 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, because he's gotten older and he's going to lose 3, 4 miles an hour on his fastball. And Justin needs to learn how to pitch now, because he just can't rear back, grab the fastball, and get out of an inning. That's not going to happen much anymore.
I think that with Osmus, the preseason predictions for the Tigers, everybody said, oh, they're the best in the Central Division. They're going to win there. And they're the World Series team. And he didn't really know what the talent was.
Right. I don't think, I just thought it was a bad hire. Not that he's a bad guy. I just thought it was a bad hire. A guy not from within the organization or close to the organization, and he wasn't in the American League either. So when you pick a guy like that, that's, you know, I think you're rolling the dice, and they rolled the dice very badly. And then all these rumors are going around now, well, Trammell's sitting there waiting to take his job. They didn't hire Allen to manage. They had no concept of him. They didn't hire Matt Morris to manage. They didn't hire Kirk Gibson to manage. They're trying to do something with that play-by-play team that they've got up there, which has become so boring. I'm sorry to say that, because they've got nobody telling stories and nobody telling us the conditions. Rod is a nice guy. Period. Just a nice guy. But, you know, unless you've played in those intense situations in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, unless you've been in a ball game like Gibson and Morris have, you don't know what it is. You don't know what those stories can bring out and how entertaining they can be. I hope that the guys take charge and aren't afraid to criticize, because it appears to me that the broadcasters today are just afraid to criticize somebody. They're afraid to say something bad. Listen, we're still going to draw 2.5 million to 3 million people. I don't care if you call them poo-poo all day long. You're going to draw 2.5 to 3 million people. So let the fans hear the truth, and that would be a nice, refreshing thing. We haven't had any truth since George Kell was there and Kaline and Northup were there. It's time that we get it again.
Well, they sell out for every game. And they're making big money. And
nothing wrong with big money. You make big money.
Yeah, I do. You know, I've been retired 18 years. My pension hasn't gone. And my pension hasn't gone up one dime.
Well, it has to go up a little bit, doesn't it?
No.
I got to talk to you. I'll help you.
Hey, what about this number 17 and Amanda? She wanted that jersey, and I understand you tried to help her out with it.
Amanda Ermelander is, I think, based upon what I've seen of girls softball around the country, is the best softball player in the country. She doesn't get any high profile because, number one, of the school she goes to, and number two, that Grand Rapids is a low-key community. I mean, they've never really bragged about Amanda. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, the other thing, too, with girls softball, it's great at the ballpark if you're there. You know, it's never been a sport that catches fire on television. You know, it's because they don't have a Barry Bonds, they don't have a Babe Ruth. You know, that's there's no history there for a girls softball team. And Major League Baseball and baseball in general is all based on stats and history, as we all know. I mean, that's what keeps the game alive during the wintertime. But she is one hell of an athlete. And like last year, she goes into college and she sets a record or ties a record. She has 5 home runs in a row. 5 in a row. This is fast pitch. This is not softball. This is fast pitch. This kid can do things with as a pitcher. I think she's threw more no-hitters here at this school than anybody ever has in the history of Lee High School. So she's one hell of an athlete. And you know,
and a great young lady.
Oh man, what a great lady! Yeah, she certainly doesn't take after her father. So she's just great. She's just great, and so's the whole family, with the exception of the father.
She takes after her grandpa. That's my friend.
Oh man, what a great guy he is.
Yeah. He and I
started. And you know what? We got him through a period of time there too. Yeah, I mean, he had us all scared because when his wife died, Ty's mother, I mean, we were all really shocked. Scared to death that first of all she went. And then, of course, he got into that state, and I mean, we started calling him. We started, you know, calling him dirty names, and that got his attention.
I think I told you before that he and I started in kindergarten
Yeah.
together, and my wife and his wife here at Lee School started together.
Is that right?
Yeah, lifelong friends, and just
So the
great
two of
fri-
you were pedophiles, or just one of you?
So anyway, we got good friends and great people. So
Oh, great. Just the best. Listen, this town has got the best. This town has got a certain spirit of it, a
Yeah.
certain activity, a certain excitement, and just tons of things going on here. It's I come over here a lot, and I enjoy being over here all the time. Plus, we've done some work with the National Guard over here. Those are some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. And in fact, I got a bet going on over there. Next guy, every time they call me sir, I'm getting $1 now from him because boy, oh boy, sir, yes sir, no sir, yes sir, no sir, no sir. So I mean, besides $1 now, I told him recently, if you keep telling me sir, I'm just going to slap the poop out of you every time you say sir. So they still say it because they got a gun.
well, Lee School's been getting a little recognition lately. Their superintendent was invited to Washington, D.C. for special conferences and
Great.
so forth, and so they've been getting a lot of some positive.
And we got some new coaches here now too. So
Yeah.
you watch what happens at this show next year. This show will be bigger, and this has been a great show this year. But next year it'll be bigger because we're going to have the other coaches participating and helping Ty put the package together.
Yeah.
And we'll have. By the way, we're going to have another Cy Young Award winner here next year with us, and we're not going to name them yet, but we got a tentative commitment already for next year.
Good. Well, Denny, once again,
Did I say Cy Young Award winner?
yeah,
Cy Young and Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's 2 clues. Got to give another one?
No.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Denny.
He's either left-handed or right-handed, though.
Really? Oh, not both.
No.
Oh, I have a
think
son.
he may hit from the right side. No, that's too much. Never mind.
Thanks for being here.
You're very
Denny.
welcome. It's always good to see you. I'm glad I drove you out of retirement to come here.
Okay.
All right? Because I heard the other guy's not very good anyway.
Yeah.
Is the other guy here?
Yeah, he's here. Right
Has he
there.
got a gun?
No, he
No
doesn't
gun?
have a
Okay,
gun,
all right.
but he's got a pretty good fist.
Does he? Well, Dean.
All right.
Get Dean over here.
Thanks. Be with you. God bless.